Hey, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the month of October. If you've been with me for some time, you know that always on the first week of the month, I love sharing with you guys our read alouds. We love having read aloud time as a family, and I also love to read myself just naturally. I'm a huge bookworm. I've got a lot of TBRs, I'm a bookstagrammer, all the things. So today I thought it'd be really cool to do like a split or combo of sharing some of my girls' read alouds for the month of October, as well as some of my personal reads that I'm getting excited to enjoy for the month of October. So if you'd like to hear more, then let's get started. Hey you, did you hit that play button for the very first time? Well, welcome to the channel. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where we talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm putting through this journey. And yeah, again, welcome to October. I hope you guys had a wonderful September and that the last week of September was really full and inviting into this new season of fall. I apologize, I only posted one video up, but thank you for all the love on that, of how I'm managing in this season. My daughter just turned 8 on the 1st of October, and I had my mom come in town, and you know, I just was trying to be present and really enjoy a busy week, but also a very fulfilling week and weekend. So all that to say, let's hop into some of these books, okay? I'm gonna first share with you guys the girls' picks, and then I'll share some books that one I've read and the other one is part of a series, and you'll probably be a little shocked if you're new with me and you're like, oh my god, she reads those. All right, so let's get started. In September, on the first day of fall, we actually made some pumpkin bread, and it was a nice cool day, and it actually almost rained, I think, and it just felt like we were in autumn. Like autumn just automatically appeared on its exact date here in Texas. Now it's been warming up again and then going into rain and going back and forth, but that was such a perfect day. And on that day we decided we were going to read Mary Poppins, and I am so excited because I love the Mary Poppins movie. I actually never read the books, and so this is like my little girl and me, and then seeing it with my little girls and like reading with them. So I've promised Zoe that we cannot watch the movie Mary Poppins until we've read the books, okay? So she's ready. She's like, can we watch it? Can we watch it? And so first, when we went to the library, because you all know I'm on a book budget, and we picked up book 2 and 3 of Mary Poppins, which you know that's new to me. I didn't even know there was a series. And we started reading book 2, but I realized that we didn't really like, my daughter had no full understanding of who Mary Poppins is and how does she come about, and these kids and the response that they have to her. So as a surprise and for her birthday, I picked up the first copy of Mary Poppins, and this is going to be part of our October read alouds. I think it's perfect timing. I love Mary Poppins, and I love Julia Andrews, who plays her in the movie, and I just have fond memories of just singing this song, "Spoonful of Sugar Makes the Medicine Go Down." So I always sometimes say that to the kids, and they're like, where is this from? And I'm like, it's a movie, but then now I know it's a book. And so we're going to enjoy this one first, and then we'll go ahead and read book 2 and 3 in suit after that. So this is me and the girls read aloud time that we're going to be enjoying. Okay, now next one, you guys are going to be a little shocker if you've been with me a while. I am still not an advocate for Halloween, so don't come for me. We don't celebrate it in our home. I believe that my kids can dress up 365 days a year. They don't need to do it on a particular day. And if you'd like to hear some of my actual deep thoughts about why we don't celebrate Halloween, I'll link that video down below. I will not be recreating one. It's not that serious. This is just our personal beliefs. We don't shame anyone who does, okay? So with all that saying, like I said, it was Zoe's birthday. She got a gift card, and you guys know that she loves Amelia Bedelia. And I made sure to kind of look over this book, make sure it wasn't anything that I had to feel that was kind of out of sorts. And so we got the Amelia Bedelia Scared Silly, and we read it, and then she read it, and it was like very light and airy, very fun, nothing scary or spooky or, excuse me, just like demonic or any of those types of things that are really triggering for our family and why we for the reasons why we don't celebrate Halloween or get into that whole spiritual thing about it. So we got this for her. Of course, she's dressed up like a little cat, and her dog is a little pirate, and it's her just sharing how she designs her costume for Halloween. So I went ahead and I approved this, and I didn't say no, and it worked out. I said okay, and there's room and leeway, and there's some things I'm adamant that she will not be allowed to read, and then there's some things that I'm like, if I've read it and my husband's read it, we're okay, then we say yes. So if you are a Halloween lover and you are Amelia Bedelia, this is in a limited copy that's coming out, so check this out, and yeah, I'll link it down below. That is a personal, independent reading for Zoe. Now, moving on to our read aloud books. This one we had a whole collection that a friend gave us when she knew we were going to be doing A Year in 100 Acre Woods. And so they're really fond and perfect for if you've got preschoolers, kindergarten, and first grade, okay? So we have this one. It's actually book 3. I'm going to get a little bit closer so you guys can see it. And it is Disney's Winnie the Pooh, Why Don't Things Fall Up? And with every book like this, it has a little section where they're going to talk about something. So if you look in that little corner, it says gravity. And I love these books because it's educational and it's sometimes themed. And of course, it's fall, and we love to talk about the leaves. And so this is going to be a great book for read aloud with Josephine. Zoe will listen because she always loves listening to stories. But of course, Pooh is trying to figure out, why is all the leaves falling? And how do they fall? And why don't they go up? Why do they go down? So they learn about gravity. And so I thought it was super fun to pull this out for the month of October as we just continue to just invite the theme of fall and falling leaves. So definitely check this one out for your littles. The next one I have here is a library pick. It is Tremendous Diary of a Not Yet Mighty Oak. Now, if you guys watched my September read alouds, I told you about our most favorite book and my favorite book in our entire read aloud collection, and that was an oak inside of an acorn. And I got so many responses from you guys of you're reading it and enjoying it and having the same emotional reaction to that book. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And again, if you haven't picked it up yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You need to add that in your collection. But this book kind of reminded me of, it's not the same premise, but it's really cute. It actually goes through the calendar about this acorn and its life's journey and how acorns can live up to 400 years and their entire process. And so I found this at the library. I thought it was super, super cute. It goes with the theme of us doing A Year in 100 Acre Woods as well, because we learn a lot about trees. So if you're doing primer with Pooh and maybe doing some of those investigation nature studies, this could be very helpful to just have read aloud time, but still a little educational. I love that it actually adds in the dates on here as well, just to give them a time period of like September 22nd, September 24th, October 10th. And it's just this process of this little acorn and how it grows and takes root and then blossoms, and then how it makes its stance over in its own oak tree forest. So super fun, cute, and whimsical book. Can't wait to read this with the girls for the month of October. The next one is The New Arrival. And I love this book, one, because hedgehogs make me think of fall and winter. And I liked that it was teaching a lesson about, you know, and just sharing the emotional response that kids have about wanting to have friends. And so, especially as homeschooling moms, you know, sometimes that's always the concern of, you know, is my child going to be social? How do I socialize them? Do they have these concerns of feeling lonely or not feeling like they can make friends, or that they even have friends? And so this book is called The New Arrival, and it's about this hedgehog who moves into a new area and feels lonely, you know, doesn't have any friends, hasn't made any friends yet, misses his old friends at his old home. And how eventually, as he continues his journey, his friends come to visit him and throw him a little surprise and just love on him the best way they can. And I love that, because especially Josephine is learning that, of just like looking and recognizing emotions of others and as well as herself. And it's a reminder even for my oldest. So super cute book, and this was a library pick as well. I will try to find it on Barnes & Noble or Amazon, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it down below in the description. So there's that one. And the last one I picked up, because you know we're artists around here, and I thought this was a really cool random find. I'm going to have to end up purchasing it. It is Vincent's Starry Night and Other Stories, A Children's History of Art. It's a pretty thick one. It's almost like a textbook. And it shares everything from Frida Kahlo, Michelangelo, Jackson Pollock, Rembrandt, and Leonardo da Vinci. And a lot of these me and Zoe have really studied. But I love that there's stories inside. As you're looking at the artwork, it also is sharing some stories. And so we will take time just to read one or two each day or each week. I may have to keep renewing this book until I order my own. But because I love learning about different artists and their time periods, I love art history, and Zoe has grown super fond of it as well. And if you've got some children that are doing an art study, this may be a good resource book. It just shares a little bit of the history of who they are, or just give them a story behind the person and the artist, and not more of like a biography, but more like an actual storytelling. So definitely check this out. Again, it is a pretty thick book. You might want to check your local library, and if not, I'll link it below if I can find it, okay? All right, so now we're on to my books, y'all. If you made it this far, I am a huge reader. Now, while I was sick for the 2 months, almost 3, I actually stopped reading because I was so nauseous. And I missed it because I had just started a bookstagram. Hush, hush, and if you'd like to know the name, I'll share it with you. But I have a little Instagram, bookstagram, and I got to meet a really cool community. I got to do like I had a book, the other person had a book, and there was people reading the book all around the world. And I thought that was so cool to be a part of. And then I love historical romance fiction. It's probably one of my most favorite. I really like anything history, if you haven't noticed. But historical romance fiction is one of my favorites. And then I've grown to have a heart posture for self-help / soul care books. And we just finished Try Softer with Lowly Veil, and I'll be sharing a video later this week of just wanting to reintroduce Lowly Veil to everyone as we are renewing memberships and adding new members to our community. And we just finished Try Softer in our book club, so we have a book club, and we're actually getting ready to do The Unhurried Homeschooler by Dorinda Wilson. And so definitely, if you're interested in that, email me at tasha@tashapivots.com. I'd love to tell you more about how you could join and be a part of that mamahood community. And so that's one book that's going to be for the month of October. I have mine ordered. It's on its way. It'll be here tomorrow. And then I have some books that I may have showed you guys, but I never got to read them because I was sick, okay? So the first one is edited by Tarana Brooke, which I am such a fan. She is actually the founder of the Me Too movement. And then there's Bryn Brown, You Are Your Best Thing. And so I'm really excited to read this. I bought it when it came out, and then I just stuck it in my bookshelf. Vulnerability, Shame, Resilience, and the Black Voice. And as I'm continuing to do some edits on Fervor and finish up the last end of it, I'm still educating myself to what today's memories, to hearing people's stories, to having connection. So if you're looking for that, this is a great book to maybe check out. I'm going to be reading this in the month of October. Next is, I've already read it actually, but I wanted to share it with you guys because I'm a huge fan of her. If you are a millennial like me, and you're in your early to mid 30s, or maybe even in your late 20s, you may have already known this writer if you're a good reader and love reading, is Sally Rooney. I love that it kind of brings me back to like my 20s in a little bit, and not in a way of, that I wish I could go back, but it's just a nostalgia, and I just love the way she writes. She just came out with her 3rd novel, and it is A Beautiful World, Where Are You? And the conversations between these two friends in emails, it's like, that's what I remember my life being like with my friends, of just like us sitting and having these dynamic and depth conversations about the world and the world we live in. And I really thoroughly enjoyed this. This got me back into reading. So I picked this up, and I I gulped it and ate it up. This was my book purchase for me for this month. And I have read her other 2 books, which is Conversations with Friends and Normal People. You might know Normal People because they ended up making a television limited series on the book. And I thought it was okay. It did a pretty good job of mirroring the book, but overall, I love reading it before watching it. So definitely check out Sally Rooney if it's something that sounds interesting to you. And then I have, this is my guilty pleasure. You probably will all laugh out loud at me, or you'll be not surprised at all. I, like most of you, learned about Bridgerton maybe and about Netflix around Christmas time. And I watched the entire series within maybe 2 days. I binge watched it. It was during Christmas weekend, I think. And I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a little funny and humorous to me. Very different than Outlander and all those things, because you guys may have been with me. I've shared I like Outlander, the show, and then I stopped watching the show because people told me I had to read the books. So I've read 3 of the books, and I've got a long way to go, but I took a break because those books are thick. And so with Bridgerton, after watching the first season, I loved it, but I was like, who is this author? And I'm really curious about reading her books. So now, as we've come to now, I have read these 4 of her books. Now, second season's coming back out, and it's just, it's just cute, okay? It's just cute. I like how they modernized it. I like how Shonda Rhimes modernized it, but I still like the series because this huge family and all of their love stories and how they connect and how they just have dynamic characteristics about them. Julia Quinn, I'm a fan. Hi, how are you doing? I have literally read the first 4. I did not read Duke and I because watching the show, I might go back, but I needed space in between. So I started with The Viscount Who Loved Me. And I know you're probably laughing at me because these probably like old women who read books and the covers always look so like what? But I actually like the original covers because now they've made them all with the covers from the show, and I'm like, no, don't do that. So I'm actually about to read the 5th one, and I read these like I have to be good because sometimes I can literally get through these in 2 days. And so I'm always like, okay, Tasha, put the book down, you gotta go to sleep. But this is When He Was Wicked, so I was like, okay, I don't like the title that much, but it's October, and I guess. So we're gonna read this one. This is book 5 of the, I think there's a total of, there's 7 children? So 7 and then 8, 9. I think there's 9 books total to the whole series. I think it's 9 or 10. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've enjoyed all of those, read them all, and within this year, and now I'm about to read book 1. Well, now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Book 6. So that is all of. Oh no, and I have one more, guys. I have some. I wouldn't say Christian reading, believing reading. I'll say that. Afraid of All Things. I shared this a while back, and honestly, I read maybe like the first 2 pages, and then I put it down, and I got lost in the rest of my books, and then I got lost with life. But I still really wanted to read this, and so tornadoes, cancer, adoption, and other stuff you need the gospel for. This is by Scarlett Hitchbile, I think is how you say it. She's a wonderful writer, and I'm really excited to read this because I was that kid that everything scared me. And I love that she gives some reference and showing like, hey, that's why you gotta pick up your Bible. So I can't wait to read this book and really get back into just getting into my healthy reading habits of like probably doing a book a week. And yeah, tell me, what are you reading? Put it in the comments below. Tell me about your read alouds. And welcome again to October, and welcome to reading. And yeah, so glad to hang out with you guys today. Give this video a warm thumbs up if you enjoyed it. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.